Hello, everyone. Welcome back to AI Learning Secrets. I'm Matthew Carlson, and today we're going to talk about a powerful way to make your studying more efficient by summarizing long or complex texts using ChatGPT. We're going to dive into how AI can help you break down one of the world's most classic stories, The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. If you've ever found yourself overwhelmed by long chapters or complex plot lines, don't worry. ChatGPT can simplify that for you in no time. Before we continue, I want to mention the concept of the ChatGPT context window. The context window in ChatGPT refers to the amount of information the model can remember or keep in mind during any one conversation. It limits the number of words that can be processed at once. In simpler terms, the context window defines how much of the conversation or data the model can take into account when generating a response. Why am I mentioning this? As of the date of this video in October 2024, the ChatGPT context window is approximately 128,000 tokens, or about 100,000 words from a text. The book The Hobbit is about 95,000 words total, so Chat can effectively see the entire text during your chat session. This allows it to effectively answer questions about either the entire text or portions of it. Let's look at an example. First, let's load a PDF file of the book into the chat session. I downloaded this as a PDF from the web. And you can find free copies of this if you'd like to follow along to an extent. Of course, you can use any text and summarize and use similar prompts to what I'll be presenting here. But let's get started here. First, let's try summarizing The Hobbit as a whole. So I'm going to ask Chat, summarize The Hobbit by Tolkien in 5 sentences. So Chat returns just a handful of sentences here, giving a good overall summary of the book. It's a story of Bilbo Baggins, a hobbit who finds himself joining a group of dwarves. In the end, Bilbo returns home, changed by his journey, no longer just the simple, comfort-loving hobbit he once was. Just like that, you get the key points of the entire story without having to read every chapter. That's not entirely useful, of course. We can go deeper. Let's try breaking it down chapter by chapter. So we can ask Chat this. Summarize chapter 1 of The Hobbit. Chat offers a response. We're introduced to Bilbo Baggins. Bilbo doesn't really want to go. Gandalf marks his door, and later that evening, a group of 13 dwarves arrive at Bilbo's house, so on and so forth. What you can do also is chain commands like this. Suppose you want multiple chapters at once. Summarize chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4 of The Hobbit. So let's say your teacher gives you an assignment to read the first 4 chapters of the book. This is a good way to get an overview of the chapters before you actually read the content. And make sure to, this is a good companion to reading the book. It won't act as a substitute for actually reading the book. But it's incredibly useful for generating a very, useful summary of what's happening in the book. So we're moving now through the book piece by piece. Here's where things get even more interesting, though. You can adjust the summary for different grade levels to get the right amount of detail. So let's see what happens when we ask ChatGPT to summarize The Hobbit at different levels of detail for different age groups. So summarize The Hobbit for a 5th grade level. So it will return a summary of the book appropriate for a 5th grader, about a 10-year-old. What you can then do is summarize for an 8th grade level, 12th grade level, and college graduate level all at once. Let's see what it replies here. So it's breaking apart the book summaries at an appropriate level. So an eighth grader might be about 14 years old, 12th grade level, a 17 to 18-year-old, with a deeper understanding of literature and history. A college graduate, of course, would have many more years of education and deeper understanding of plot themes and philosophic themes in the book. So this is definitely very useful. We're able to start taking apart the book from the perspective of people who understand more or less deeply about the content, who can answer questions, appropriate for their education level. Now that we've seen summaries for different age groups, let's go even deeper. You can ask ChatGPT specific questions that help each grade level understand more about the themes and the characters. Here's some example prompts for each level. For eighth graders, what role does the ring play in Bilbo's journey? How does it help him? The ring plays a crucial role in the journey, serving as a practical tool and symbol of his evolving character. Chat then gives a response how it helps him through The Hobbit, helps him with disappearing at key moments, helps him in the battle with Smaug. For 12th graders, how does Tolkien used the character of Smaug to represent greed and the corrupting power of wealth? So we'll get a response. All of these prompts will be in the link to in the description. I'll have a PDF file with all of these prompts so you can follow along at home if you're not able to fully follow along right now. So Tolkien uses the character of Smaug, the dragon, as a powerful symbol of greed and the corrupting influence of wealth, so on and so forth. This might help you, as a conversation starter in a class to really, learn about the themes of the book and deepen your understanding of it. For those who are a bit more advanced as a college student, in what ways does Bilbo's transformation reflect Joseph Campbell's concept of the hero's journey? So you can start relating other texts, in this case, Joseph Campbell's, either the book Power of Myth or A Hero with 1,000 Faces, to the Tolkien book, and really start to analyze how the books relate to each other, how Tolkien might have used, mythological themes and brought them into the story. As you can see, by asking the right questions, students can think critically about the story, regardless of age. Whether it's understanding Bilbo's growth as a character or the themes of power and greed, ChatGPT can help us explore these ideas more deeply. So I want to give one more example here. Actually, two more examples. Summarize The Hobbit at a 5th grade, 8th grade, 12th grade, and college graduate level and offer insights and class conversation starters for each grade level. Now, I find it useful when I approach a text to summarize it at different grade levels to get a very primitive understanding of the text and then a more and more advanced understanding of the text. In this case, if you were a teacher, this would be incredibly useful for creating class discussion starters, insights that you might want your students to really gain from the readings. And it can do it all very quickly for all age groups, all at once, if you just chain together, the different grade levels all at once. One last prompt here that I think would be incredibly useful for studying then is ask Chat to create a study guide appropriate for in this case, 8th grade students of the book. You could do this for whatever grade level you are. So in this case, Chat is creating an in-depth study guide, including key characters, an overview of the book, plot summary, it also lists themes from the book, key locations, important symbols in the book, and then starts listing out questions that you could use for studying for tests. It includes vocabulary from the book. You can see it's producing really great content very quickly for you to get an in-depth knowledge of the book, its themes, its characters, the character motivations. I really highly recommend playing around with this with any text that you might come across, whether it's a magazine article. You are able to copy and paste directly into the chat session here. So you could paste just text from an internet article as an example and start asking questions about it. So by asking the right questions, you can think critically about the story, the text. Give these prompts a try. Watch how ChatGPT helps you break down and better understand books like The Hobbit. I hope this example can serve as a good guide to help you quickly master material in your studies. If you have questions, please leave them in the video comments below. I've linked a PDF in the description with all the prompts I've used in this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.